In the newest issue in Marvel Comics' Japanese folklore-inspired series Demon Days, we finally get the Shinto smackdown we've been waiting for. Mariko is stronger than ever after finding her Oni ancestors' armor and battling her way through an army of monsters. But is she ready to face literal gods?
In this video, we'll dive into Demon Days' Rising Storm and explore how it uses Japanese lore to provide a fresh take on familiar Marvel characters.
Marvel's 5-issue prestige series Demon Days features story and illustration by Stormbreaker artist Peach Momoko, writing by Yokai expert and star translator Zack, and lettering by the talented Ariana Maher.
I spend a lot of time talking about the art and the story in Demon Days, but in this issue, pay close attention to the lettering because Maher has really upped the ante this time.
I mean, look at that. It's like ASMR for my eyes.
The comic is available to read online immediately, but if you can, please use the link in the description below to find a local comic book store to support by buying a hard copy. Shout out to my boy Jared at Heroes Your Mom Throughout in Elmira Heights, New York for hooking me up.
In issue 3, Cursed Web, Mariko Yashida joined forces with the immortal Wolf Logan and junior scientist Reina to take down some of her twisted sister Ogin's mutant henchmen, Ocho and Tora. As Mariko dons her mother's armor and wields her tanto knife, she begins to tap into her Oni powers. But the stronger she gets, the more bloodthirsty she becomes, literally. Having lost her lackeys, Ogin sends 2 more mysterious warriors to capture Mariko.
Demon Days issue number 4, Rising Storm, opens with a bit of mythological backstory.
We learn about a territorial war that broke out between Oni and the encroaching humans. The Oni were led by a great general, Kigan Dōji. A lone samurai called Sainouchi Sukeroku kills Kigan Dōji in single combat, thus ending the war. Sukeroku takes Kigan Dōji's head as a trophy and keeps it in a hidden shrine within his mansion as an omamori, a talisman of protection. On the anniversary of his victory, Sukeroku holds a celebration. A mysterious and beautiful woman attends the party and requests to see the head of Kigan Dōji to get closure for him killing her husband. Sukeroku agrees, and when she sees the Oni's head, she whispers, "My husband," and suddenly transforms into an Oni herself. Grabbing Kigan Dōji's head, she escapes into the night in the direction of Kirisaki Mountain. We discover that Mariko's mother is telling this tale in a flashback. She informs Mariko that the power of her Oni ancestors dwells in her jaw armor, which was fashioned from the bones of the great Kigan Dōji. There are several details in this myth that remain mysterious, like the potential connections between the legend of Sainouchi Sukeroku and the legend of the wandering samurai, Sai, as well as the history of the Oni on Kirisaki Mountain. But it is very clear that this new tale is based on the real-life Japanese legend of the Oni general or king Shuten Dōji. To be fair, there are lots of different stories about Shuten Dōji, many of which include decapitation and the samurai Minamoto no Yorimitsu, also known as Raiko. In one such story, Yorimitsu and his companions visit Shuten Dōji disguised as Yamabushi, mountain ascetics who practice Shugendo. They drink with the fearsome Oni, who is known for his love of sake, and listen to his life story. Shuten Dōji explains that the Oni had been pushed out of the Hira Mountains when the Tendai priest Saicho established the Enryakuji temple. Waiting until the Oni lord is deep in his cups, Yorimitsu decapitates Shuten Dōji and takes his head to the treasure house of Uji at the famous Byodoin temple, along with the remains of the 2 other great demons of the medieval period, the Kitsune Tamamo no Mae and the Oni Otakemaru. While Japanese Buddhism expert Dr. Irene Lin describes Shuten Dōji's head as a negative relic, a dangerous symbol of power that must be hidden and contained, in Demon Days, the head of Kigan Dōji is a positive relic that protects the owner.
And there's one more really deep connection between Shuten Dōji and what we know about Demon Days so far.
Remember back in issue 2, when Mariko and Ogin were first revealed to be the children of Oni, the Yokai files introduced Hiromaru, the Oni child. According to certain legends, Hiromaru was the son of Shuten Dōji, and he vowed to get revenge on Minamoto no Yorimitsu and his comrades for slaying his father.
Gee, I wonder if we know any other Oni child obsessed with getting revenge for her Oni family.
Continuing the search for Ogin in the forests of Kirisaki Mountain, Mariko is still coming to terms with her bloodthirsty Oni side. Soon enough, Mariko runs into the mysterious characters teased in the last issue, Sosuke and Ororo, aka the Asgardian Thor and the mutant Storm. The two assure Mariko that they only want to help her, and they have some kind of history with Ogin and Mariko's wolf companion, Logan. But Mariko is tired of being ambushed by superhuman assailants, and she and Logan go on the offensive. Sosuke and Ororo humor Mariko, hoping the fight might bring out some hidden character called Miyuki. Mariko ties on her enchanted jaw armor and goes Super Saiyan on the strangers. Sosuke and Ororo hold off Mariko's attacks in a blazing battle until things get too heated for the brother and sister in their current state. Shrugging off their mortal forms, Sosuke and Ororo reveal themselves to be not yokai, but the Shinto gods or kami of wind and thunder, Fūjin and Raijin. Unleashing their divine powers on Mariko, the red energy around her once again takes the shape of her mother, who the gods recognize as Miyuki.
This is an affectionate Easter egg from writer Zack Davisson, whose wife is also named Miyuki.
Talking with her mother, Mariko flashes back to her childhood. We learn that Ogin was a killer from an early age, and for reasons unknown, their mother committed suicide using her tanto knife. Ogin finds Mariko standing over Miyuki's body with the bloody knife and jumps to the conclusion that Mariko had murdered her. The memory ends with Ogin promising to get revenge on Mariko someday. Determined to put an end to all the confusion and misery, Mariko asks Sosuke and Ororo to take her to her sister. Finally reaching the dilapidated temple, Mariko comes face to face with Ogin. Sosuke and Ororo thank Ogin for finding Sosuke's hammer and disappear into their ruined statues. This moment is a subtle nod to the Norse tale of the Jotun or Ogre King Thrymr stealing Thor's hammer. Refusing to listen to her sister, Ogin rips a sealing talisman off of the yokai Hulbo, who grows into a giant green, Hulk-like Oni and leaves us on a massive cliffhanger.
I have so many questions.
How exactly do Sosuke and Ororo know Logan, and why did he forget them? Why did Mariko and Ogin's mother commit suicide? What is wrong with Ogin, and how did her hair change color from black to white? What is the relationship between Sainouchi Sukeroku, Sai, the Oni of Kirisaki Mountain, and Mariko? There are still a lot of similarities between Sai, Mariko, and Ogin. As I mentioned in my last video, Mariko's colored energy aura, especially around her blade, is reminiscent of the mutant Psylocke's signature purple psychic energy. Plus, when she ties on the jaw armor, the bow looks a lot like a butterfly, like the one that Sai wore around her waist. And when she wears the red armor around her neck, it looks a lot like Sai's red scarf. Finally, I'm pretty darn sure that Ogin's sword is actually Sai's katana, just covered in bandages and modified with blood vials for a quick power-up.
I swear, if that sword isn't Sai's, I will eat my hat. Oh wait, I need a hat. Okay, that's better. I will eat my hat.
Also, I was really surprised that Hulbo is an Oni. I would have bet good money that he was actually the Demon Days version of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants member Toad, who would transform into an Ogama, a giant toad yokai who breathes rainbow poison.
And I would have lost that money, but joke's on you because I don't have any.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Rising Storm's yokai files focus on the Shinto gods Raijin and Fūjin. Name a more iconic duo. I'll wait.
Sosuke, aka the Norse god of thunder Thor, is the perfect match for the kami of thunder, Raijin. Raijin's hobbies include flying around in the sky, playing his 8 thunder drums to make sick beats, and freaking out mortals. But he also has some serious mommy and daddy issues. After the goddess Izanami died giving birth to the god of fire, Hino Kagutsuchi, she went to live in Yomi, the land of the dead. When her brother-husband Izanagi went to retrieve her from the underworld, he saw her corpse nursing Raijin. Izanagi fled in horror, and the enraged Izanami sent Raijin after him, along with the 8 demon hags of Yomi and a horde of other monsters. Raijin and his brother Fūjin managed to slip out of Yomi, before Izanagi blocks the path with a giant boulder, and they've been wreaking havoc ever since. The weather-manipulating, wind-riding mutant Storm is also a great fit for the Japanese god of the wind, Fūjin. Storm's godhood has been explored in Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther series, as well as Mark Guggenheim's X-Men Gold, where she became a Thor, complete with her own hammer called Stormcaster. Like Storm, the Kami Fūjin controls fearsome winds. He was born in Yomi and escaped with his brother Raijin. Wherever you find one of these stormy brothers, the other is never far behind. As Zack Davisson explains, like many Japanese legends, Raijin and Fūjin came to Japan through the Silk Road. Raijin closely resembles the Chinese thunder deity Lei Gong, who strikes great drums with a mallet, and Fūjin, with his bag of winds, was likely originally patterned off of the Greek god Boreas, filtered through Hinduism and Buddhism, and then refracted in China before making his way to Japan. I really appreciate how artist Peach Momoko emphasizes both Fūjin's iconic bag of winds and Storm's divine status as a goddess by giving her a tenne, a distinctive sash or scarf worn by celestial beings called apsaras in Hindu and Buddhist visual culture. Even though there's only one issue left in the Demon Days series, I feel like we have only just scratched the surface of Peach Momoko's inspired take on Japanese folklore and the Marvel Universe. Which myths are fiction and which are fact? What secrets will be revealed and what questions will go unanswered in Demon Days issue number 5, Blood Feud?
Let me know your theories in the comments down below, and until next time, don't forget to eat, pray, read comics, and watch anime.